back. Hey everybody, how are you doing? This is Not Hardly Broken, and we're back today with some more content, talking to married couples. We just want to talk to you just a little bit, and we thank you for your comments, and thank you for your questions. We love them, and we just love to respond back to you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for future notifications, okay?
Yep. Through the years, we've often been asked, how do you all work together in ministry, really? And that's a loaded question, just because it seems like the questions, I never can start right where the question is. I always feel like I have to go back, because in order for it to come across as unity in ministry, there had to be a unity prior to anyone seeing it happen. And what by that I mean, we work together well at home. Yeah. You know, we're still learning. We're always growing, but we have to manage our honesty with things. If I hurt your feelings, or if I did something that bothered you, Terrence has to be able to tell me that, and then I have to be able to resolve that. So that with honesty, if we're in ministry and we're ministering to people or in a public setting, if I've done something that bothered him that way, he would then still feel comfortable, just like it was if we were at home. He would feel comfortable being honest with me and me actually resolving that. Yeah. So in that, it starts at home in order to be able to translate into what is quote unquote the public eye or ministry. And by ministry, what I mean is being able to serve other people. And sometimes in our local church, we serve people in a public setting, yeah, and in a public way. And then we also serve people on a person to person basis as well. And so honesty, I think, is one of the first ways that helps us work together.
Yeah, I think that's a very great point. You definitely need honesty, but and that definitely is appropriate because we're a married couple. But if you're working together in business or working together in ministry, and you're not related, or you're not in a relationship or something like that, honesty is definitely going to be the key. But I also have three points. I think it's going to be communication, it's going to be trust, and respect. When you're working together in any aspect. Communication, you got to know how to talk to people, yeah, and you got to know how to receive information, because it's one thing to say something to someone and to be able to articulate and get your point across, but then there's another thing to receive the information back as well. And so listen to someone talking to you, and not just listen in order to wait for the break and then say what you want to say, and use your authority or whatever to
wield your way in.
Exactly. So communication is going to be key. So we listen well to one another. Yeah. And sometimes I have to listen even when I don't want to listen.
Right. And he does a good job, because he'll say, what I heard you say was, or he'll repeat, now I heard what you said, and he goes verbatim, and I'm like, how did you hear that?
Because I listened.
Right, you do.
So that's the communication piece. The second piece is trust. You have to trust who you're working with. Yeah. Whether it's in business or in ministry. If you don't trust that person, or give that person the ability to present trustworthiness to you, then it's going to fail, whatever project or whatever thing that you're working on. So I trust Kenya, and even more than that, in our marriage relationship, I trust her with my heart. Now, in a business relationship, you don't have to trust to that level, or to that, to that degree. Exactly. Thank you. But there has to be some trust there. Trusting in she's going to do what she says she's going to do. Trust that I'm going to do what I say that I'm going to do. And when you put both of that together, then you're on the road to a great working relationship, whether it's in business, ministry, or what have you. The third point is respect. Yeah. You have to respect one another, and you have to respect each other's giftings. Yeah. Because Kenya has giftings that I don't have, And then I have giftings that she doesn't
Absolutely.
have. But when we come together and put it all on the table, we have enough to finish what we need to do.
Yeah.
And so whatever we set our minds to do, we sit down, we talk about it, we communicate, we trust one another, we trust each other's thoughts, and then we respect each other's ideas as we are, doing a think tank of how to pursue what we want to pursue, or what our goal is, what our objectives is. And so we put all of that together. We have to write it down, or sometimes we just talk about it. But, the fact that we respect each other's space, respect each other's giftings, our timelines, and how to get things done, that's the best way when we work together.
And I love the fact about the respect, because what comes to mind is sometimes, and this is in a ministry platform thought, but just even if we're speaking together and he has something to say or I have something to say, depending on who has the flow or the floor, being gentle with notifying him, or a gentle touch, or he'll touch the small of my back or something like that, and that lets me know he's been triggered and he's got something he wants to add or share, and I yield the floor, and vice versa. It happens that way. He also yields the floor because of that respect factor. I don't believe it's always been that nice ebb and flow. I think we've had to grow and learn, and I've you've told me, when we get home about something, you blah, 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 blah didn't do. And then I have to take stock of what he's saying and implement it that next time, because my heart is never to just run over him. That is not my heart. And maybe you thought that years ago, that was something you battled with, as to, no?
No.
Okay, well, all right. But that's not my heart. My heart is not to run over him,
But my heart is not to run over her. And so through our communication and talking about it, and being honest with one another, then we were able to kind of sit down and be like, okay, I see what you're saying, because I trust the words that are coming out of her mouth, and I trust her heart, and we're talking specifically about ministry now. And so, I trust her heart and I trust what she's saying. She's not trying to disrespect me. She's not trying to downgrade me. She's not trying to make me feel minuscule or small, and neither am I doing the same thing to her. So, in that safe zone, in that safe area, both can learn from one another, and then we can strive together with whatever we're having to do, and especially in ministry when it's important, because oftentimes we are both called together to minister together.
Yeah.
And for some, that can be very difficult.
Yep.
And can present a problem, because one person wants to be the lead or be the point person and wants to usurp authority, and the other person may feel like, hey, why are you taking the lead on that? I'm just as capable as you are. And so that can cause a lot of tension and a lot of friction when you're working together, especially in ministry. And I see this a lot with men, since men are supposed to be the head of the family, they typically kind of translate that in, well, let me do the talking, let me be the lead. Even if you don't even know what you're talking about.
Wow.
And your wife has the information, she has the good, the good nuggets to pull out, but you're doing all the talking that she can't get a word in edgewise, and she has what's going to help minister to the people.
Yeah, that's really good, because that happens. I've witnessed that through the years of people not being willing to yield. The Bible specifically speaks to preferring your brother. And in those moments, you have to put pride in your pocket and ego, because it's really not about you. Even in a business sense, it's not necessarily about you. It's about getting the vision accomplished, or whatever the goal is. And whoever is coming to the table with the essence of what needs to be said, then that's the person who needs to say it, and it doesn't reflect negatively at all on the person whose mouth it didn't come out of.
Not at all. You're both winning.
Yes.
When whatever the vision is, it comes to pass, and you both worked hard together. Because I may be the person that writes the vision, but she may be the one to communicate the vision and
Right.
get it across to people
Right.
so that people can understand. And so when you have that combination, you're both going to win.
Absolutely.